When we are sensitive empaths and highly sensitive people, we are earth angels, we are angels in human bodies. We also deserve a respect and love and care like everybody else. And this involves taking accountability of our own lives, setting our healthy boundaries directly with people without apologies, not taking on other people's crap, other people's bullshit and issues, troubles and traumas on ourselves, which is destructive. So we need to be able to take care of ourselves and our own lives, our own health, our own energy. And we cannot be interacting with people who do not take accountability and responsibility of their actions. And this, of course, applies to companies, to jobs, to people, romantic relationships, whatever the situation is. But we have to be able to set our healthy boundaries and receive respect. And if we do not, if somebody disrespects once, then it is a call for a boundary. It is not a call to be too nice again and to be enduring and tolerating abusive disrespect. We have human worth as well, and we are not here to be used and abused. And setting boundaries is so crucial, especially when you've been through childhood trauma and narcissistic abuse experiences already in your life. Because narcissistic people, these toxic people, they will never take accountability or responsibility. They do not understand about healthy boundaries. They do not respect them, which means that we as kind people who often are too nice and too trusting, too open, we must acknowledge our healthy boundaries even more and be setting them even more. Because action is needed. If you want change in your life, if you want to take better care of yourself, your health, your life overall, there has to be action taken. You cannot be expecting results without any action. So you have to look in the mirror and start to take better care of yourself as a sensitive, empath, highly sensitive person if you want a better life for yourself. So again, it doesn't matter who it is, whether it is a company, whatever the situation is, but you must make a promise to yourself that you will not be taking disrespect, that you will not let anyone to play with you, because those people will play with you if you allow them to. They do not accept any sorts of criticism or feedback. They rather shut down and run away from you, hide away from you, or they just keep on attacking you or stalking you, for example. So it is very, very, very wrong, very toxic, very immature, and you just have to stay away from these kind of people and situations. It is like false advertising when we encounter a person or a job or whatever the situation, the thing is, but it's the same as false advertising when they are claiming to be something else than they really are underneath. Nobody knows what happens behind closed doors. So again, this is why it is important to acknowledge that we're not too trusting to wrong people who will not reciprocate, who will not respect the trust that we give. They will not respect our efforts, our energy, our love, our care, or anything. And it is abusive. And it's always that you face a deal breaker. You face the truth of who is being narcissistic and who is not. When you're communicating your healthy boundaries, your opinions, your needs to them, and how do they react? Like, for example, here in Finland, these rent apartment companies are so narcissistic. They are just so after money and power. And if you happen to stand up for yourself about issues and seek justice, maybe go to court even, they will really just try to gaslight you and blame you for everything. And that is exactly what a narcissistic person does. So for example, Lumo and Sato and TA-yhtiöt here in Finland, these apartment companies that I've actually talked about before in my videos and posts, that apparently do not respect their tenants, and you can end up making an agreement with them and just ending up really, really drained and hurt and just suffering because of the overall situation, because that apartment was not in a good condition like it should be legally. So these sorts of things are no joke, and it is mental abuse, it is emotional abuse as well. And we have to teach people that our boundaries are not up for negotiation, and we have to be able to feel uncomfortable in these situations, because there's no way out. Otherwise, we have to feel what we feel as sensitive people. So just learning to be unapologetic and honest about your healthy boundaries, especially when you have already gone through scapegoating in your childhood, neglect, serious childhood trauma, emotional abuse, maybe physical abuse, and you are a sensitive person, especially as a sensitive girl or woman. So it is so important to protect your peace and be setting those boundaries. As always, if you need more help and support, book a one-on-one call with me so that we can walk through everything that you're going through right now in your life. We can walk through your healthy boundary setting as well. Of course, if this resonates, that you really need some coaching, some guidance, and some help and support, encouragement with this, because it can be such a struggle and a battle, and especially if you are dealing with these things alone. And of course, check out my self-help book on Amazon, because it will really help you to become empowered from within, because that's what you need, is to be able to live your life and to be empowering yourself. And I wanted to also remind you that, disagreeing on something is not unhealthy. What is unhealthy is that as a trauma victim, trauma survivor, as a sensitive person, empath, highly sensitive person who you are, that you do not, what I mean is that if you people please, it is unhealthy if you people please, if you are afraid of disagreeing with someone, because then you are suppressing yourself and your own opinions and needs and values and your identity and who you are authentically. So because if you want to heal and thrive, you gotta be yourself. You cannot be suffering because of other people's issues and suppressing yourself. Disagreements are completely normal. We have those sometimes in these human lives. We just do. And even some sorts of conflicts. But of course, healthy, normal communication and responsibility and accountability should be able to happen in those situations. But if it doesn't, then you're likely dealing with a narcissistic person who doesn't want to grow and evolve and heal and change. They just want to stay where they are and be pouring their pain onto other people. And they just want to run away from problems and shut down when you need them to communicate like adults. So their ego are so fragile. So that is why it happens, and it's not our problem to fix.